The Hangovers, Evan Almighty, Zoolander 2, Dumb and Dumber, I can go on. Comedy sequels don't generally do very well. I know movie executives gotta eat, so they're gonna make a sequel. It's what they do. But a lot of times, if you're rushed, they want to capitalize. It's a money grab, basically, and the product suffers. Now, having said that, I was very concerned about Neighbors 2. Of course, Neighbors came out a couple of years ago. A movie which I really enjoyed. I thought it was very funny. It wasn't hilarious. I didn't love it, but it was good for what it was. And of course, Zac Efron and Seth Rogen had good chemistry and did a good job in the movie, and I enjoyed it. However, having said that, I was very worried walking into Neighbors 2 because I'm really afraid it was going to be more like the movies I just mentioned. It's rare we get a good comedy sequel. 22 Jump Street is one of the few recent ones that I remember being good. I know there's others out there, don't kill me for it, but that's one of the ones that jumps out at me. So now, is Neighbors 2, is this more like The Hangovers, or is it more like 22 Jump Street? Let's find out. With that, I'm walking you to another episode of The Real Mentor, where my goal, as always, is to enhance your movie watching experience, because that's what a good mentor does. So now Neighbors 2, actually, hold on a second. That's better. Hey man, it's a movie about college and partying. I'm also relive the glory days, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's good. So Neighbors 2 brings back some of the same cast we're used to from the original movie. We got, of course, Rose Byrne, who I really enjoy as a comedic actress. She does very well, much better than she does in dramatic roles. She should continue that path. Of course, she was also in Bridesmaids, just to name another movie she's been in. But Seth Rogen, of course, who is a one-trick pony, but I like him. And Zac Efron actually does comedy very well. And now we got a new player in town, Chloe Moretz, who we know from Kick-Ass and Let Me In, very talented actress. And she comes in the fold now. She is pretty much the antagonist of the movie. And it follows some of the same patterns as the original Neighbors movie does. But instead of a fraternity, we have a sorority. Now, this movie takes place a few years from the original. The Seth Rogen, Rose Byrne's kid, a little bit older now. They're about to have a second kid. They want to sell the house. The house goes in escrow for about 30 days. So the buyer has 30 days to back out. And of course, the house which Zac Efron used to be in, it's a fraternity, is empty. But a couple of girls move in there and create their own sorority. And of course, that spells trouble for Seth Rogen, because now all the partying kind of gets in the way, because if the buyers see them, they're not going to want to buy. So now the battle ensues. So naturally, Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne are trying to get rid of Chloe Moretz's new sorority she's trying to create, and they enlist the help of Zac Efron, who kind of gets involved. He kind of gets stuck in the middle. Actually, is assisting at some point, assists both sides of it. And at the end of the day, this is a pretty funny movie. It's on par with the first Neighbors. I'm not sure, a little bit less. But that's not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong, this is not a great movie. They try to inflict some social, awareness in there about feminism and all that, which kind of worked. But it kind of lacks the heart that most comedies should have, and to really bring it home was a little bit contrived in the end. But that's okay. Again, this is not a great movie. But ultimately, like I always say, a comedy just needs to be funny. I don't need to be a great movie, and this movie is funny. There's some laugh out loud moments. The comedy is very raunchy, very physical, a very intelligent comedy. It's a lot all built in, and did a good job of balancing all the comedic elements on there. You guys are really gonna enjoy it, particularly if you like the first Neighbors. But again, does fall a little flat in the end, but that's okay. I expect as much in this kind of movie. Ultimately, you are going to laugh. Now, there is one particular scene which I loved, involving a tailgate and weed. Fantastic scene. You guys are gonna love it. I won't give too much away. But this movie does have those moments of highbrow comedy, man. You guys are gonna absolutely just lose yourselves. Not every joke hits. Most comedies don't always hit, but for the most part, they do. And again, it follows some of the same beats the first one did. I said, I'm not saying it's up to 22 Jump Street level in terms of quality of sequel, but it's definitely a good sequel, which you don't see much as compared to some of the ones I mentioned earlier. Now, you don't really have to see the first Neighbors to really enjoy the second one. There are a lot of returning characters and all that, but it's not really a play on that. I went with a friend who, she hadn't seen the first Neighbors, and she really enjoyed this one. So that says a lot, I guess. But ultimately, at the end of the day, do I recommend this movie? Absolutely. It's funny. It's good kind of programming to what we have now. It's just not a big budget. This is summertime. You're going to get the Civil Wars, and you had X-Men coming up in a week and all that. All the Independence Day coming out. It's good to have a nice smaller movie to go see, the kind of counterbalance what we normally get in the summer movie with the big budget blockbusters, which I love, of course. But this is a good, decent comedy. You want to laugh, I absolutely recommend it. If you're not a fan of Neighbors, I probably wouldn't tell you to go watch it, because the comedy is fairly similar in terms of style. So again, you may want to avoid it. But if not, definitely check it out. Have a couple of drinks before. You may even find it funnier than I did. But again, overall, it was a good movie in terms of comedy. So you're gonna watch it. Let me know. Comment as always below. Follow me at Twitter at The Real Mentor. Don't forget the Real Mentors podcast. We have episodes weekly now. We have 2 cohorts. Catch us on Podbean and Pocket Cast, iTunes, and what have you. It's a very enjoyable show. We talk about TV, movies, and have a little fun along the way, because otherwise, what's the point? And of course, subscribe below and feed my need to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.